objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
But I certainly think the members of the caucus, while they were not enamored with all the pieces of the legislation, nevertheless thought it was a positive effort, and they're reviewing it in that light.
I will not be voting for it because, in my view, it is financially irresponsible. It increases spending by roughly $80 billion a year, over a 2-year period of time.
Compared to the alternatives, which would be default, sequester, terrible cuts in the American military, this is a reasonable deal. It's paid for.
This latest deal is terrible, and we're voting against it. Several of us just voted against the rule that would bring this bill to the floor.
Well, it did pass. The budget deal, including a debt ceiling increase, passed by a vote of 266 to 167. All the no votes were Republicans. We're back with the panel. AB, we've seen this before, but now we're hearing that Mitch McConnell has called cloture on this bill, and they expect the Senate to vote on Friday. Will it have trouble there getting through what likely will be at least some efforts by Republicans to slow it up?
Well, it will have trouble there. Ted Cruz is there. Rand Paul is there, threatening to filibuster. And you never really know how long that trouble will last. But this was the best that John Boehner could do to protect Paul Ryan and get something through the House. And we'll see what happens. But this is what we expected John Boehner to do before Friday, October 30th.
To clear the barn.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was interesting watching those clips of the members of Congress making their case for or against the deal. I think, Tom Cole sort of shrugged and said, it's a reasonable deal, but didn't seem terribly enthusiastic. Jim Jordan and others opposed it, which I think I would do, certainly if I were in their shoes. I think it's a clunker of a deal. But you're getting from leadership this sense that this is a wonderful deal. I mean, the statement from Kevin McCarthy says it strengthens our national security, protects our economy and American jobs, and real reforms to entitlements. No, it doesn't. It spends $85 billion over the first 3 years. It ends up providing $5 billion less in defense spending than even President Obama requested. It's a stinker of a deal. The most honest case for the deal would be to say, look, this deal stinks, but that guy's president, and we want to clear the decks so that we can have a bigger argument about bigger things.
And change the process. Speaking of changing the process, Paul Ryan tonight is the House Speaker designate, having been voted by his conference. Take a listen to him today.
Tomorrow, we are turning the page. We are not going to have a House that looked like it looked the last few years. We are going to move forward. We are going to unify. Our party has lost its vision, and we're going to replace it with a vision.
But the party wasn't as unified as people thought today. On the vote breakdown for House Speaker today, Ryan got 200 votes. Daniel Webster got 43 votes. And there you see Kevin McCarthy and Marsha Blackburn. Point is, Charles, you need 218 to win. So in between today and tomorrow, when the vote is, there's going to be some horse trading.
Right, but some of the members who voted against him made it very clear that as the internal debate, they had they would prefer a conservative. They obviously will be able to tell their constituents if they get a primary challenge, especially that Ryan was not my first choice. But I think at least half of those who voted against him are going to support Ryan on the floor of the House tomorrow, where it really counts.
Yeah, Webster even says he doesn't want to be nominated.
Right.
He says it's
so
done.
Essentially, it was a way to register a kind of a protest, but I don't think it's going to influence where they are. And look, I agree entirely with Steve. This is an awful deal that was agreed to, but there's no alternative at this point. This is way down the road. It's the end of the Boehner era. You want to start afresh with Ryan. Let's do it. Get it behind us. And the idea that it's paid for is a farce. All the savings are in the future. They never happen, and all the spending is going to happen now.
AB, the point being raising this, not that Ryan's going to lose that vote, but that the fact that these members felt compelled to signal that they were going to vote for somebody else when it's a fait accompli that he's going to win.
That says it all, because There is no Ryan era without what Boehner did for him this week. He would be in the same numbers with a gun to his throat like Boehner's been for all these years. And these protest votes, when they know they can go home and say it wasn't their first choice, but they had to vote for Ryan the next day anyway, is so indicative of the protest movement that rattles the House conference, every GOP conference, every single day. And the only way Ryan can go on to entitlement reforms and tax reform hearings and bills is because all of the necessary legislation will be gone. All the must-pass cliffs will be gone, and he won't be having this type of protest like he had tonight. I think it's a shame, and it's just got to end. It's just not good for the Republicans, no matter who is Speaker.